in the small logging town of Mutsumoku had taken a job to find some missing lumberjacks. After heading north, the group of strangers that you were followed the trails to where a mysterious druid of the forests had kidnapped them. You did battle with her and her wolf and companions, defeating her and freeing the lumberjacks. When you returned to the town, you headed back to collect your owed monies, where you discovered the body of your patron, Lord Miko Rihoshi. Just as you were discovering this, a bunch of the local Ravensgat accosted you and arrested you, sent you all off to jail. At the word of Lan Arenyu, you were released as the still prime suspects of the murder, and told to stay in your tavern, which you did. Spending some time getting to know each other, having various writing events and drinking contests, which is the point that we return to our story. The seven of you all in various stages of inebriation around the table, the laughter and the music filling the space. And as you are enjoying the newfound companionship amongst yourselves, there is a small, noticeable entrance into the tavern. As you glance over in that direction, some of you having to sort of focus a little bit past the bleary-eyedness that you are, you see what appears to be a small group of roughly loosely armored individuals, sort of standing off to one side. At the head you see a tall human gentleman, fairly attractive, late 20s, early 30s. You can see he's got a very neatly trimmed beard, long shoulder-length black hair, which is tied up into sort of like almost like a wolf's tail at the back. You can see he's wearing very fine, long black robes with loose sleeves and red trim across it, and you can see he has a sword buckled to his side. And he's making his way towards your table. He stands there as you sort of all are falling a little over yourselves, your tankards on the table before you. "Excuse me, can I join you?" He says.
Drinking contest is already over.
Yes, and I would.
But we can have another round.
I mean, I'd rather not destroy our levers in the first few days.
Yeah, he seems a little surprised by the state that you guys are in, but without any sort of anybody saying no to him, he does pull up another chair and takes a seat next to you. Says, "My name is Lord Rihoshi. Suppose I should get used to that eventually. So, I have been speaking with my father's aide, Lan Arenyu, who spoke somewhat highly of you."
Whoa.
And
You were the Lord's son? Then?
I am, yes.
Pleasure. Miss your name.
I am Lord Rihoshi. Now, at least.
Very well, my lord.
I'll cut to the chase, shall I? It seems I'll need to speak a little quicker for some of you before you pass out. He has a little bit of a chuckle to him, seeing your various inebriated states. It's been 2 days since my father was killed. Nerevan's Gat, quite frankly, have got nowhere. They have their suspects in mind and refuse to see anybody outside of that. My father's funeral is tomorrow morning. While I appreciate the delicate situation that you find yourselves in at the moment, I want to know what happened to my father. If you are interested, I will be willing to pay to find out this information.
You know where they're suspects, right?
I do, but I've spoken to Lan, and he has convinced me that the Ravensgat are looking in the wrong place. To him and to me, it makes no sense for you to be those responsible.
We been here.
I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, you kind of cut out.
We weren't actually here. We were out on a job.
You are unaware that my father was killed at the time that you were found within the estate.
He was dead well before we were there. We arrived to his dead body.
My condolences.
And I am greatly sorry for this. But we going against the words of the Raven's Gut may look quite unfavourable, less to say. So I'd like to see what sort of guarantee you can provide that we won't get executed on sight for disobeying the Raven's Gut.
Well, at the moment, you are still Captain Elvindra's prime suspect. She is having pressure from the commander herself. However, I am able to pull some strings, allow you to at least leave this place and investigate if you are willing to take this on. As I said, you are still the Ravensgat main suspects, and should they find the evidence that they are so desperately seeking, they will do what they wish.
At this point, Rain would look a bit like hesitant, and she'd say, once someone declares you crazy, the more you announce, the more you claim to be sane, the more insane you look. How do we have a guarantee that they're not going to do everything in their power just to frame us or just incarcerate us for whatever reason?
Well, then I suspect you find out who's really responsible, who is attempting to frame you.
Well, I have no idea, but it's a bit unusual that we're their prime suspects just because we arrived at an area at a certain time.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean...
we were kind
well,
of found standing over the corpse of his father with a dagger in his back.
Yeah, that...
I can see why we'd be prime suspects. Although the window was open. Has anyone investigated that yet?
As I said, the Ravensgat have their suspects. They are looking for the evidence that will convict them. They are not
Yep.
looking outside until they have run out of options.
I gotta go wash my face. I feel like and he kind of, stumbles to his feet and kind of goes to the cleaning area, wash his face in some cold water.
Rain would look at Court and Kifsana and say, what do you guys think?
Kisana's gonna like tip her head back and forth and kind of squint at the man standing in front of them before shrugging. Word of no blame. I don't see why we can't go and clear it.
I was getting bored in here anyways.
I mean, if we've got Lord Rihoshi's word that we're not gonna, get into too much trouble, I'd like to find out who's kept me here drinking with you guys for the last 3 days.
And thank them, am I right? No.
Who's
And just takes a big
very
shot.
strange look, Lord.
who's the,
I'm considering the drinking, not the actual body. I apologize. Sorry, Karen.
So, Elvindra still thinks we're prime suspects, and I don't really like that too much. But she said that she's receiving a lot of pressure from her commander. Who's her commander?
That would be... My mouse has died.
My mouse.
That's an
It's,
interesting name.
That would be Commander Aika Homain. She is the head of the Raven's Gat here in Matsukomo.
Interesting. I mean, let's. I'm happy to look at. Do we want to talk to a car at some point? I mean, maybe not. But should we investigate? I'm kind of bored.
I want your word on paper rather than mouth to mouth. I don't. I wish to have something to say that you've granted us permission to walk into the street. I don't trust words. I trust paper.
Well, if you take this, then when the morning comes, it is a little late and you are somewhat inebriated. I will speak to Elvindra and personally vouch for you.
That will do. I am happy to.
As long as you don't leave the town, then I will take that as an admission of guilt.
I like these terms. They are fair.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey! It's a big chunk. Big chunk.
Well,
so how, Mr. Lord Rihoshi, how do we contact you now? Because obviously we want to go and do what you need us to do, but we're going to need to find you, and that's a whole nother thing.
I have a small built house in Rose Blossom Square. I did not stay with my father. Guess it's my estate now, and he sort of has this sort of very maudlin look to his face. As he
Can I
says that.
insight check that look?
Sure, go ahead, make an insight
I'm
check.
looking for seeing if he's actually honestly
Mhm.
being it. No, I'm inebriated.
He looks genuinely sad
Oh,
and a little focused,
focused. Okay.
a little unsure of himself. You're not quite sure. You're not getting a read of him with the beer.
Yeah, beer is hard to read. It's liquid.
Well then, do we have an agreement?
I don't see why not.
You do from me.
Very well. I will leave you to your evening. He pulls out a small pouch and places it onto the center of the table, and you can hear the jangle of of coins within. As I said, if you have any questions for me or for any of my staff now, I suppose, any of the people that worked at the estate, feel free to join us, to find us. The funeral is in the morning, up at the Temple of Pelor.
May we attend the funeral?
I do not see why that would be an issue.
Okay then.
He stands up, sort of adjusts his dress a little primly, and gives you a slight bow. Turns and heads off, and you see the couple of the guards sort of file out after him. He steps out into the streets,
So
leaving the group of you alone.
I just wanted to ask, before Enthoriel departed from the table, the guards, did they wear, like some form of uniform? Were they looking more like mercenaries, ruffians, or were they somewhat professional?
Yeah, they're somewhat professional, but they were wearing the same sort of loose, like leather armor and tabard and spear that you saw on the main gates outside of the Uhoshi estate the first time you went in there.
All right, thank you.
So, was there money in that pouch?
I open it.
Yeah, there is 100 gold pieces within.
Jesus. I just close it, put it on the
Who's
table,
that?
and say, "Yep." Oh, I don't. Oh, Zahir. And I throw the gem, the bag on the table and said, "Coins. There you go." I don't want it.
I'm happy to be treasurer. I mean, I won't be at the front too much anyway, and you can trust me. She says, giving her biggest anime eyes.
I trust with all my soul.
I trust you. And then I open up the bag and take a gold coin out of it and say, "I'm just gonna take this one." That's me. You can have it. So 99 gold for you. That's the treasure.
I'm happy to be treasurer. If we just want to buy stuff with general money. I have the bag of holding and stuff as well, so I can put all that stuff in there.
Can definitely see that being handy.
Whatever anyone wants to do.
You know what? Fuck that suggestion. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm down.
At this point, I think Enthoriel kind of returns to the table, a little bit more sobered up, even if it's more of a rough awakening than an actual sobering up. This is what who was that?
That was Lord Rahoshi Mark II, I believe.
Oh yes, his son, of course. We agreed, right? Don't really want any, sour history tainting our legacy as we are, heroes in the making.
I would agree. I'd rather not burn the bridges before they've been built.
But hey, this could make a really good story. I mean, vindicated. A story of vindication through finding out who actually tried to frame us.
Precisely.
Yeah. I'd be up for starring in that.
I don't particularly like people messing with me.
True.
I look at the others who aren't talking and say, "What are you doing? Are you coming? Are you going to join us in this endeavour?"
Sure.
Rain just looks at Court and Gasana and shrugs.
Court just says, "Hey," lifts up his mug and takes another big shrug.
I don't see why not. Should be interesting.
DM, what time of day is it, please?
You guys had the drinking contest quite late in the evening, so it's probably like 11
So
at night-ish.
I sort of turns to him like,
Well, we could do this now, the dead of night,
I do
or
believe
we can
it's
sleep
time
in
for
and go
bed.
tomorrow.
I think it's bedtime.
If I'm not mistaken, Rahoshi said that he would talk to the guard captain in the morning, so we won't be actually permitted outside until the morning anyway. So.
Oh, good to know. Ray, we're doing this, right?
I was muted. Yeah, sure. Should clear our name so we can actually leave at some point.
Yeah,
If
can't
only
have
you
any
knew.
more songs written about you.
I'll write a song about you too, Kith Sana. I will. I'll probably, what is it called? Get a big jug of water from what was his name? Bristle, before I kind of retire to mine and Ray's quarters.
Of course. You head on, staggering a little bit, make your way in and pass out with your boots still on.
Yep.
Good. Everybody else retiring for the night?
Yep.
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 You all eventually find your way to sleep. Feel the sunlight creeping through the windows, making your eyes feel all crusty as you flicker them awake in the morning. And the day is yours. What would you guys like to do? I imagine you head down for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Noodles and dumplings are prepared.
Ooh.
Ooh.
DM, would I have been eating noodles and dumplings in the Elven homeland?
It's
Are they like a
little more...
universal?
No, it's definitely this sort of nation. The Elven is a lot more sort of like the Elven fare, so it's a lot of hunt, especially the village you're from. It'd be a lot of hunted game, stuff like that. So deer,
Elk, that sort of thing. Yeah.
fish, a little more sort of westernized.
All right. So this would have been like commonly served at other inns, so it wouldn't be like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
reinvention. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Hey, Lamar, what exact day and month is it right now? I seem to have lost. Do you know what day it is today?
Well, Jim.
Do you have the keen mind feat?
No.
Sure. You can ask Bristle. It's the 11th of Armundstrand.
What day is it? Sorry, that's the. Okay, so it's the 11th of Armundstrand, did you say?
Armundstrand.
Armundstrand. It's the 11th of Armundstrand, of course. I can't believe you didn't realise.
So presumably he died on the 7th?
He died on the 8th. You guys met on the 7th, returned on the 8th.
Okay.
Well,
So,
did Lord Ryoshi Jr. happen to mention when permit has been given? Would he come by with some sort of waiver? Would
I mean, there's only one way to find out, and I'm going to head over to one of the guards who's at the door if they are still there.
okay. You open the door, poke your head out. Make a perception check for me.
Make an eyesight check? No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. That is a solid 11.
Looking about, no sign of any guard. You can see various people going about their day-to-day business, heading towards the market square, doing their shopping. There are some various people about. No sign of any guard.
It looks like they have let us free, at least. It's what it seems. Though I could be completely wrong, so if they end up telling us to piss off, I would apologise for that way ahead of time.
Well, we'll burn that bridge when we get there. I suggest, in my humble opinion, with minimal experience in this sort of thing, that we should return to the scene of the crime. See if we can find any incriminating, well, just any lead whatsoever. Perhaps footprints left behind by the killer, or tracks leading away from the manor that the Ravensgat has not already pursued, which it doesn't sound like they have, considering that we were the prime suspects.
I think that's a very valuable idea, though it's been a couple of days, so the tracks may have been removed by this point. I think that's something we should definitely do, is go back to the place of the killing. Though I do fancy an audience in the funeral. I'd love to see which kind of people go and attend such a thing.
The what?
The funeral. My hunch is that someone who's got this guy killed isn't deliberately trying to get at us, rather trying to get rid of him. And with that in mind, I think that person would be pretending to be quite grieved at this death. So I'd like to see just who's coming to party.
Are we invited?
Yes. We were told that they did not seem to see a reason why we could not attend the funeral. So if we'd like, we could split into a handy group of two, and one group could go to the funeral, and the other group could go to...
Fine. As long as you're not going off in groups of one.
No. It's groups, like, basically 50-50 is my suggestion.
DM, I would like to split away from the rest of the party and find a way to buy perfume.
Okay.
It's the strangest thing you guys have ever seen. As you're stepping out into the streets, there's this whooshing sound, and you all glance up, and this giant boulder is just falling out of the sky, and it lands right next to Enti. And he jumps back in surprise, and it's scrawled on this rock. It says, "Watch your fucking mouth." It's the weirdest thing.
Oh my lord!
Next time I won't miss.
Noted.
Someone cast Meteor Strike!
So that was one of the people in Waterdeep game decided that they wanted to split up from the party while they were investigating stuff to go and buy perfume.
Makes much difference though.
They wanted a bucket of perfume. It was like,
how much perfume do you want, Nogo?
A bucket.
So, okay.
What exactly? But yeah.
So,
well, with that in mind, if we're going to split our forces between the funeral and the home, on some days I am quite okay at reading people. Perhaps I could attend this funeral with you, Luard, and if you don't mind, of course, I'd like Ray to be there.
Whoever wishes to go. I'm not a leader of any sorts. I just like to spread my own ideas. Whoever would like to
sound like a leader to me. You talk a lot.
I do apologize. I do talk a lot. That's my bad.
I'd like to see what a funeral is like here.
Oh.
I'm not very good at reading people. Perhaps better I check the other thing?
I'll go with court.
I'll go with them.
Okay.
Alright, Tink, what about you?
I mean, where Luard goes, I go, I guess.
Alright.
So, going to the funeral is Enti, Ray, Luard, and Tink. And going to look at the estate is Court, Rain, and Kitsana. Is that correct?
Luard is going to look at Tink and say, look, I think you might be more useful investigating the scene of the crime. I feel like you might play to your strengths there. You don't have to travel with me all the time.
I mean, okay.
It's not saying that I don't like your company at all. It's just that
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
it's so early into your journey. I don't want
La
you to
la
go
la
to
la
a
la la.
funeral.
Shh. Bye bye.
Yes.
Did I just witness the domestic dispute?
No. We don't have
Just talking
those.
I mean, at this point, we might as well get a divorce.
We're not in a relationship.
Who? No. Oh goodness, no. Have you
God
seen-
no.
My goodness,
God
it's me.
no.
The
I'm way too old.
Sounds like you
Who am I
are.
going to the what? Where am I? Who?
I believe you're going with the investigating the, estate
Yeah,
people.
but with.
This is Dawid using Luard to say, haven't you got intelligence as your main stat?
So Court, Rain, Kitsana, and Tink are going to the estate.
Okay.
NT, Ray, and Luard are going to the funeral.
Yes.
You just say
Sounds
rain
correct.
twice.
No, Ray and Rain.
Okay.
I can see
Very
things.
similar
I can
people.
investigate things near to the floor quite well.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Okay.
Ooh, piece of candy.
So you guys head your separate ways. The three heading towards the funeral. You're heading towards the western side of town. The path that led initially northwards branches off towards the west, and you follow it along towards really the more sort of outskirts of town. There are some more houses and buildings on the side, but you can behind it, but you can see off to sort of like the left hand side is a slightly raised area which has a wide fence around it, where you can see are large amounts of tombstones, a few not sarcophaguses, the standing buildings that they bury people in. What are they called?
I guess it's like a
Mausoleums?
crypt, but
Yeah.
upside, like on the surface. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I can't.
I think it's a mausoleum.
Yes, that'd be mausoleum would be the one. Yeah, and you can see to the other side of that is the actual. Where is the? You can see what is a stone temple. You can see it has tall and slender stained glass windows on all sides, and a large spire in the center, which has a large clock face on it. You can see a pair of large doors with statues on either side of them. Each one appears to be a man wearing heavy armor, but where the head is just an orb without feature and a crown-like corona around it. So,
Have I, looking at the statues approaching it, does the imagery or like the iconography like ring any bells to any deities that I would be familiar with?
Yeah, you would be aware of Pelor, who is
Pelor.
the known as the Dawn Father. He is he's sort of like the god of sun and agriculture. So a town like this, it makes sense for that to be sort of like the deity.
Yeah, farming, woods, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
What would you guys like to do?
Well, I suppose, considering he was Lord, the ceremony would be held in the greatest building? Well, the temple? Lord, are you more familiar with the ways of these people, perhaps?
No, I haven't been to a funeral in decades. Not many of the people I meet die, so I don't particularly, or I don't stay long enough to, you know.
Okay.
I do also believe he said where it was, but I don't remember.
Looking around, do I see, like a gathering of people, maybe not like a, big queue, but,
Yeah, make a perception
anything that
check.
looks like a folk man. Perception? There you go. That is a
9.
solid 9.
Looking around, there's nobody immediately visible around the outskirts of the temple at the moment. You sort of glance over, looking through the rows of gravestones, and you can see what looks to be one solitary person wearing sort of like a big, heavy overcoat, just sort of standing within the middle of the graveyard area.
I'm gonna go ask this fella if he knows. I don't know.
That sounds wise.
Yeah, you make your way through, following the stone pathway that passes through the gate, the fenced area, winding your way through until you reach the individual. It's a human gentleman, quite sort of hunched over, little wisps of brown hair, a big heavy coat on. He's currently sort of leaning on what looks to be a shovel.
Excuse me?
He looks up and goes, "Morning."
Morning. We're here to attend the funeral of the late Lord Ryoshi Sr. Do you have we're kind of new to town. Is there do you know where it is?
Yeah. It's not due to start for another half hour or so. They'll probably be lowering him. He points towards a small mausoleum off to one side.
Of course.
Okay. Well, thank you. Is there like a memorial or anything where the people in attendance will gather prior to the lowering of the casket? Coffin?
He says, usually Warden Stoneguard says a few words as it's lowered down into the ground here. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Tom. Tom's the name.
Oh shit! Where am I writing that? That is not going into my notes. There we go. Thank you, Tom. And I'll hand him the flyer of the 19 out of 20. I'll give him a copy of that.
He takes it and looks at it, looks at you because you're a very strange look. Rolls it up and slips it into his coat pocket. Right, nice meeting you.
Spread the word! And
starts shuffling. You see, it looks he's digging.
Alright.
I'd like to minor illusion my coat to be black. I want to change the color if it's okay. I just want to, correct funeral attire.
Can minor illusion move with you?
I'm just going to keep casting it.
Every few seconds.
Yeah. So it'll, basically every time I step, my clothes slowly get darker, like they fade into darkness. Right. Okay. So we have that information. What? Do we wish to make an early appearance? Does that sound wise?
Well, I don't see why not. Perhaps we can, find something of value there. This was your idea after all. I'm just here to, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm sure it's for a good cause.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find out something or other.
Well, he did mention that the notes.
That they come in about half an hour, and that the stone guard is there.
Yeah, the Warden Stone Guard will say a few words as the coffin is being lowered. People in attendance will probably be there by then, so I see no harm in waiting.
Do we have any way of disguising ourselves? No, that sounds a bit suspicious, doesn't it? Wow, I'd love to interview people here, but that doesn't feel appropriate. Maybe we just wait and watch as silent observers and see if we can pick up on any cues, any leads. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Ray?
I think we should attend and then see if we can find any people who are, as you said, acting sad, or any like inconspicuous people.
Any of us three actually good at reading people? Okay, thank fuck you're here.
You kind of sense away the only person who was.
And that person sneezes at that exact moment.
What are you talking about?
Mr. DM, does it look like the mausoleum that I was, or mausoleum? I don't know. Does it look like it's, currently being crowded by people? Is there anyone nearby? Anything with the perception of 9?
At the moment, you can make out where you didn't see before. There looks to be a couple of more grounds people working around the area. You can see some people look to actually be like cleaning the outside of it. The doors to it's sort of like a whitewashed, fairly square building. A couple of people on the outside are giving it like a clean over, and it's been pointed out.
All right. Okay. Well, unless anything comes up, and Thoriel at this point would just like to, kind of try and backtrace the Ryoshi bloodline, see how long they've, operated out of the area. If it's like an established, does it go back like 2 generations, 4, 40, that sort of thing. Other than that, I'm just gonna be waiting for the ceremony to begin.
Yeah, you can head up to the mausoleum and read sort of like the on the outside. It looks like the family goes back about 6 generations.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
That's a lot of generations.
That is.
Can I, with my passive perception, look out for anyone who looks like they don't belong at the funeral once that attends or starts?
Once people start turning up, it'd be more like an actual perception check than passive.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that once people start to turn up. In the meantime, if there's anything else you guys want to do while you're waiting for this to start up.
Not unless there's a weapon shop where I can buy arrows from. Otherwise, I'm waiting. Like really close by, like across the street type thing.
I mean, most of the shops are in the market square, which is.
Okay. Then I'll just wait.
Yeah, it's probably like about a 15-20 minute walk.
Oh lord.
Okay, then I'll definitely wait.
15,
maybe not that long. Maybe like 10 minutes. But
walking.
actually, thinking about how far. It's basically back where the tavern is, in that sort of area, is where all the shops are.
Can I fuck with Tom? I'd like
in
to
Make
what
a seduction
way?
check.
So I'm going to use my infinitely powerful telepathic speech, and I'm going to pretend to be the voice of one of the dead, seeking redemption. So I'm just going to be like, "Whoa," in his head. "Oh, Tom,
Make a deception check.
you did not clean my grave enough." That sort of thing. Yes!
So, natural 20s, man.
Tom, you did
He's
not
scared
clean
out of his
my
mind.
grave enough.
So you guys who are unaware of what's happening, you sort of glance over and you see as Tom is doing his digging, his body suddenly goes rigid, and you can see what little sort of color he had in his aged face drains, and his eyes go sort of wide, and you can see like the whites on the outside sort of flicking around. He throws the shovel aside and just runs screaming out.
Don't run away from your problems, Tom! You must propose to her! I don't know.
He runs right towards the temple and just pushes his way into the door and scrambles in out of sight. You can see a lot of the sort of like the other groundskeepers are standing up and looking, sort of scratching their heads.
That's right, fuckers. I ain't playing a righteous character no more.
Poor guy.
Alright, that's level
Tom
3,
needs a
right?
hug.
Scaring the shit out of
Yeah, we
I
all
think
know.
I've gone down a level for
That's all I had. I couldn't think of anything else to do.
Okay. So, in the meantime, Team Estate, you guys make your way to the southeast, following the path that you've taken a few times before, until you come to the gate that leads through to the actual manor house. You can see there's a couple of the now familiar personal guards of the Rahoshi family are standing there. As you sort of approach, they cross their spears to prevent you. And one says, she says, "Can I help you?"
We're here on behalf of Master Ryoshi Junior.
Lord Rahoshi?
Yes, yes, I suppose. Junior.
His lordship is not within the estate at the moment.
I know. We have permission to. We are currently investigating the murder of his father.
Make a persuasion check.
Go. Not bad.
15. You see her eyes sort of narrow, but the other one sort of puts her hand out and goes, I think Lan said something about it earlier. And she's like, "Ah, you are the ones. I thought there would be more of you." But,
Funeral.
well, they sort of step aside and push the gates open. There is only some of the groundskeepers on the estate at the moment. All of the servants are at Lord Rihoshi's.
Where would we find the groundskeepers?
On the grounds, I would imagine.
Oh, fucking knew you were going to say that. Not over there in their hut. Oh, I saw one around the corner. No, on the grounds. Yeah.
I mean, you saw it's not a large grounds. It's not like sprawling like acres.
Yeah.
You know, it's maybe like 30 or 40 feet.
Oh, yeah,
around the
so
building.
quite small.
It's a lot of feet though.
There's a lots of feats. Should we go and speak to the groundskeepers first?
If you think that's a good idea.
It'd be interesting to know if any of them were working on the 8th. It must have happened not long before we got here. If there's servants and groundskeepers.
What would you ask them? We don't really know anything yet. Wouldn't it be better to find more things to interrogate them with? I've read my fair share of like crime books, but I've never done it myself. Investigate the scene, then discuss, interrogate the perps. No, whatever.
I
I
mean,
mean, it makes sense. Gotta interrogate them on something, right?
I guess so.
Did you kill him? No. Okay.
I meant more finding out who was actually here on the 8th.
Let's do both. I don't mind which one we do first.
Lead the way. I shall sort of just step behind Court a little bit.
Me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Trying to, look like she knows what she's doing.
Okay.
Sort of goes, yep, fine, and she starts
Okay.
walking
Cool.
towards the house.
You're heading towards the house. So you step into the house. The familiar by now decor, the rich tapestries and art objects. Where's your destination within? Is there anywhere?
So
Um.
sore throat and this voice is killing me.
So
Sure.
up this. What should we start with? Where the body was? Because I was kind of at the back and I didn't really see anything. Let's recreate what was there and investigate. Exits and access and stuff.
Can I take a general look around the area and see if anything looks missing? Like if there's any patches of dust where something might have been, or any particularly clean areas where something might have sat that's no longer sitting.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check.
20, that'll do.
20. Glancing
Dirty
around
one.
sort of like the foyer that you guys are in, you can see sort of like stairs leading up, the tapestries. There's a few plinths with art objects upon them. Nothing. There doesn't seem to be any empty spaces that jump out at you, especially just at least in this area that you guys are in at the moment.
So there's nothing that looks unusual for sort of this sort of house.
Nothing. It looks to be a fairly well to do, but nothing looks missing.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be any negative space.
Where exactly was the body?
It was in his study, which was towards the rear.
Are we currently in the foyer?
You
Like,
guys are still in the
entrance bit?
foyer until you
Yeah.
tell me where you go in, yeah.
Yeah.
A spider?
So
Did you fireball it?
No, I for Christmas last year I got given one of those scoopers
Fine.
because I hate spiders, and it was just huge on the corner. I was like, nope, that's it. I'm gonna.
So I'd like to head upstairs and sort of look to recreate the way that we went in normally, into the study.
You
And then
guys didn't go upstairs. The study is towards the back on the ground floor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I assume the study was upstairs because that's where mine is.
He's
don't know
not
why.
you. He's not
Yeah,
you.
sorry.
I did not know that
So
you.
I'll
yeah.
head past wherever I
Okay.
need to go.
You
and
guys
head
make
to-
your way towards the back, and you can see where the entrance to the study is. Is one of those sliding doors. It does have some rope has been placed up over it that has been painted sort of yellow and black.
Please
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But you can easily sort of slide the door open. Tink doesn't even have to duck under. The rest of
I
you
didn't even notice it.
scurry your way in to the office. You can see there's the large, heavily polished desks in the center. You can see various sort of books on the shelves on the side. Got the window sort of at the far end. There's a few art pieces up on the wall.
So
here we are. What do we do now?
Can I take another look around here? Look for anything looks unusual?
Well,
Anything out
why don't
looks out of
you-
place?
Yeah,
why don't
sure,
you tell
make
us
a-
what you're doing? Because then we can help you as well.
I'm just looking around. Do you want to help me look and see if there's anything unusual around the area?
Unusual. How about you do the upper half court? You do the up Rain, you do the middle, and I'll sort of do the bottom.
Check the skeleton boards.
Kitsana.
Best squad.
So are we just,
Kitsana, maybe check the desk. Yeah,
are we
go
doing-
team.
are we doing like a collective?
Yeah,
Roll
so
with
whoever's leading this, make a perception check. Investigation check, I'd say. You're taking a little more time on this, with advantage.
Okay, I have +5 investigation.
Oh well, you should probably roll.
Well,
that.
it's already rolled.
Yes.
unfortunately.
Okay.
So sort of looking
Close
around,
before.
the most obvious thing is the nobody there at the moment. Looking at sort of like the desk, you can see some of the paperwork that was on it is sort of smeared a little bit with brown stains. The desk looks a little bit darker in some places, as if it's sort of spread out from a single point. Glancing along at the bookcases, it looks to be a lot of very dry literature. Doesn't seem to be. He takes some time. Doesn't seem to be any missing books or anything. Looking at the various quite nice pieces of art around. Again, there's nothing that seems to have been missing. The only thing sort of really noticeable is that the window is open, because you can see like the curtain drifting a little bit.
Could
So-
I'm sorry, go.
No, I think you and I are going to be competing in this scene because we've got the same the same ideas. So you do you, and I'll do the next bit.
I was just gonna go and check the window,
Yeah.
see like what type of window it is, like see how high off the ground it is, where the window leads to.
You sort of push the curtain aside, and you can see it's one of those rise up half windows.
Okay.
The other side, it's leaving into what appears to be the back side of the estate. You can see about 15 feet, 5-10 feet away is the fence that leads off into just more open ground along the back.
Does it appear to have a gate, or is it like a just a solid fence all the way along the back?
It just appears to be solid fence. It's about 10 feet tall. You've got about a 3-foot wall at the bottom, and then about 7 feet of fence above it.
So not impossible to scale. Is there any signs of any blood on it?
I mean, from where you are, you'd have to like get up and get close to it.
Okay.
Is that what you wish to do?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, are you going out of the building, or are you climbing through
I'm going to
the
climb out the
window?
window. I'm going to climb out
Okay,
the window
you
and see
climb
how
out the window.
easy it is.
It's fairly easy. It's only about 4 foot off the ground. It's easy for you, obviously. A little less so for others in your group. You can make your way over, make your way up to the fence. You're looking for
Make it
sort
boy.
of blood or anything like.
I'm looking for like any scuff marks that might be signs like a boot's gone against it.
Yeah.
Any blood or any like chipped wood where like if like a robe or something got snagged on the top of the wood, it'd probably like splay out a bit.
I'll say go ahead and make a survival check for me on this one.
Okay.
If you fail the check, you die.
You sort of looking around. It looks that there's been a few footprints around. You're not quite certain of the time of them. Looking at the fence in the immediate area there that you're sort of looking, nothing seems to stand out to you. It looks like to be sort of wrought iron. It's got one of those sort of swirls around as it goes up, and you can see it's got a one of the spear-like points at the top that's got the hooks on them. I don't know what they're called.
Finials.
Yeah, sure. But Nothing really.
So is it like a row of those spikes at the top?
Yeah, about a foot apart.
Okay. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of blood or anything on
Not
any
that
of
you can see, unfortunately.
them. Hey, Tink. Could you?
What's the other three doing in the
Yeah.
meantime? Because that's going to take
Yeah,
you a
so-
couple of minutes.
I'll sort of turn to the two I'm left with, and so
Hey, Kitsana, when we came in here last time, how was Lord Rihoshi? He was sort of dead. Did we see a weapon?
If I remember correctly, there was a knife in his back.
Oh, you know a lot about knives and stuff, right? Or would that more be court?
I think it's possibly a mixture between the two of us. I think it's about the same.
Thinking back, did you notice anything suspicious about that knife? Was there anything fancy about it? Was there, if you saw the knife again, would you recognize it?
I don't know. Would I?
Make a history check for me.
Ooh, my best stat.
I think Court could probably do it as well, though.
Yeah, I'll say
that's in both.
cool. And anyone who had seen the body, so any of the other three.
Okay.
-1.
So Ray, no, Kitsana, Tink, and yeah, so Ray's not there. Yeah, so Court, there was something that sort of stuck out to you as you remember it. You'd seen in that sort of second before the Ravensgat had arrived. You remember thinking it was quite a nice, well-made dagger. You remember an image in your head of sort of like a red dot, something red at the cross guard, and you recall there was a piece of something like a ribbon or something tied to the pommel.
I relay this information.
Can you tell me how Court would say that information back? Because that was quite eloquent. I want to know how Court would say it.
Well, knife was made well, not shit knife. Good knife. Had red dot on it, not blood, proper red dot. And some type of cloth ribbon thing.
As he's like relaying this back, Kasana's kind of like staring like in the mid, like kind of the ground, kind of like in like the mid space between, kind of like trying to. Looks like she's trying to think really hard. So she's like, I don't remember any of this.
I mean, it seems awfully suspicious that they would leave such a fancy knife. Maybe it means something. I mean,
Maybe
he was
it
killed.
someone for a
Maybe.
reason.
Maybe to killer knife, not fancy, regular knife.
But then you would assume that would negate some of the riffraff. This wasn't just a passing thug with a fancy knife. This would be someone that can afford a fancy knife. I couldn't afford a fancy knife.
That's where they stole the knife, maybe?
I mean, yeah, maybe it's his knife. I don't know. Check his cutlery drawer. So what? So he died here on this table. He wasn't moved here. What was he was he working on anything? Do we know? Could be
He was dead.
Is there anything on the table that would possibly be an answer to that question of was he working on anything?
Looking at sort of like the area around, you can see some of the paperwork has sort of very brown stains to it. Looking at it, it looks to be had a quick glance, a series of ledgers. Looks like the immediate paperwork that you can see is just some tallies from the logging company.
It looks
So
like a lot of
just
thinking.
noise. Okay.
Hey, Court. Can you lick this?
Giving him one of the bloodstained pieces of paper just to see if he'll do it.
He does it.
Tastes very
Ew,
coppery.
ew! Don't do that.
What does Court's tongue look like? Is it sort of like long and forked, or is it?
It is.
I need to know
It's
these
forked. It's forked, but it's not like incredibly long. It's just like longer than the humans, but not like super snaky. But it's pitch black,
Ooh.
just like
I
his
can't believe
scales.
you did that.
What does it taste like?
Very coppery and papery.
Kasana like stares at him for a second and like shakes her head.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
I
smart
like this
one.
guy.
She knows what helps.
It did. It helped me a great deal. I can't
No, he just
tell
sort
you
of like
why.
points at her and just looks judgingly at Kisana. See, I was right. I helped.
Yeah. She like looks between the two of them and shakes her head. I must not understand what helping is then.
It's
No.
okay. I'll get you to help next time.
And then I'm gonna, hearing Rain call for me, I'll head over to the window.
Okay. You have to have Court help you to look over the top of the window
Hello?
sill. And Rain, you
Picks it up
see
and puts it down.
crest the top.
Yeah, I'd sort of offer a hand down.
You sort of help her
Mom!
over.
Yeah. Can you check the tops of these? And
You lift me up.
yeah, that was the plan. So I'd lift Tink up to stand on Rain's shoulders, or even higher. And
You're stronger than you look.
I mean, you're not that heavy, are you?
No.
I imagine it'd be alright.
Got all your equipment as well, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I'll put my
Bag
back
holding.
down. I'm not gonna be a dick about it.
I'll say make an investigation check.
Cut out. 20.
20.
Yeah,
Okay. You're looking at it and you're like, this is pointless. This is. Oh, hang on. And you see what looks to be. Let me just make sure I get this right.
Say blood, so Lee can get caught to lick it.
No. What you see is looks to be a couple of strands of almost like purple thread on one of the metal spikes. It's the very faintest, very thin purple.
Put me down a sec. Put me down.
And as I sort of get
Just
put
drops
down,
you.
I'll head into my bag and I'll just sort of be rummaging through all my crap and I'll pull out this pair of little tweezers and some like bags and I'll
Hey, put me up. There's something up there.
and hoping
See ya.
to put me back up again and I'll try and pick the
you,
thread off
you
the
cheerleader
evidence bag.
her up. She manages to get the tweezers to retrieve the strands.
Welcome to CSI Xen'Arda.
Yeah. Puts on sunglasses.
Well, there's the title for this episode.
It's just gonna be
We won't get
So, a
probably
couple
get-
of purple threads, that was right, on the metal
Yeah.
spikes. Okay.
That is correct.
So, there's purple threads as if something's been caught. Purple is that a common color? Is that like in days of yore? It used to be quite expensive.
It's not a royal color, if that's what you're asking in this world.
No, is it like a common uniform, like with guards and like groundskeepers, or would it be something that someone more higher up would wear?
It could be anything.
It's just a colour, there's no
Yeah,
importance
it's just a
to it. Okay.
Okay. Have we seen anyone wearing a similar color
The
robe
Ravens.
I mean, in your life, probably. Recently,
recently?
not really.
Okay.
You sort
What
of
colour
try
does the
and rack
Raven's Cat
in
wear?
with
Is it
them.
black?
Yes.
Hmm.
You can put me down now. Thank you.
In the meantime, Court and Kitsana, are you guys up to anything while they've been doing this?
Licking the tables like that.
Just licking everything.
blood.
I've got a cousin who's like that.
But it's Windows, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I think Brody will enter that age soon enough too.
Okay.
Are you guys doing anything, or are you just watching this strange display out the window?
Court would probably just be watching, standing around aimlessly, because he doesn't really understand how this works. He's just like following the lead of the smart one. Which is why he licked it without question, because like he doesn't understand how it would help, but she is clearly the smarter one here. She must have asked for a reason.
You and me are gonna get on like a house on fire.
He has complete faith in you.
Good.
So,
So with that, I think Rain.
Rain, can we see anything else out here other than the fence? Like, if we're, do we think the guy climbed up? Could we climb up that? I mean, not me. Maybe Court or you. Could you climb up to that window, or would it zip line or flying man?
Do you mean what window? Do you mean? Do you mean the study
The one that we've just come out of? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's ground floor, isn't it?
one.
Yeah. Sorry, I've done it again.
No offense there, Tink, but I think any of us apart from you could climb in that
All
window.
right, shut up. What about footprints? What about, like, if he came in from the outside?
Well,
Is there any, like, signs of forced entry or?
Yeah, there are any marks on the? Is there any scuff marks on the wall underneath the window?
Make a survival check.
Tink, I think. I think it'd be a good idea.
If you'd both like to do it, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
have someone
Tink.
make with advantage.
You do it. I'll help.
Court
That
is
bad,
pretty
is it?
Yeah.
11.
11. Okay. Sort of retracing back, what you'd initially missed, and with Tink's help and being lower to the ground, you do notice at the sort of the base of the window are what appears to be a depression from, only you'd taken the ranger with you.
Yeah.
You
I
see,
was literally about to say +6 survival and investigation, and plus.
you see what looks to be a depression, almost of boot prints that are bigger than either of yours.
Okay.
And leading towards the gate. You don't see any of the same prints coming in.
Can we see a? Can we see like an isolated footprint?
There's not really anything with a roll of 11. You don't find an isolated one. Looks to be people have walked over it in the meantime, or it's mingled with, previous prints. You don't really get a full decent foot tread. Just this the depression of like someone landing, and then it's getting lighter as it's moving towards the fence.
Damn, I was going to make the first use of a candle I've ever had. melt one down and make a little impression out of a melted candle. I think that whoever it was. Okay, why am I doing your voice?
I have no idea.
It's been a long week.
It's just your desire to continue doing the same things that gamers.
Yeah. Subconsciously. I think that whoever this is came in the front door and left via this window. And they had big feet and potentially wearing purple.
But that doesn't make any sense. How? Surely Lord Rahoshi would, if he was stabbed in the back, the guy would need to be behind him.
Yeah, maybe it was someone he trusted enough to turn his back on.
And sit down and do some work? I mean, potentially, but
I mean, I can only see evidence of someone leaving this window, not someone coming in. And
maybe he's a ghost.
maybe, and
Maybe.
clearly by the fibers you found on top of that finial over there, someone's climbed this fence. What reason would you have climb this fence? Unless you were trying to get out. Exactly.
No, I agree. Maybe. I mean, maybe he went in and came out the same way, but I don't know. Okay.
I was just going off Maze saying that there was a depression and then footsteps leading away from it.
Okay.
You did say it looks like someone came out of it, right?
Yeah, you did. You didn't find any coming in, but then you did only roll an 11. So.
Yeah. But I can only go on what my character can assume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Court, can you give me a lift over the window?
I'd sort of hand her up to Court.
One-handed, just
like pick me up by my bag. Just puts me in.
Yes. Of a similar nature, can I see how easy it is to climb back in the window unaided?
Yeah, it's fairly easy. With the window being open, it's only about 4 feet off the ground, so you can just sort of mantle over it.
And there's... Oh no, they wouldn't be on the outside of the window if they climbed out.
What we've confirmed is the killer is not a gnome.
Tink could pole vote it, yeah.
I think we should speak to some of the groundskeepers. Why am I doing a voice of fucking again?
We've done a lot of stuff together. Court, Kitsana, in this room, is there anything else you want to do before we move on?
No, I don't know of anything there is to do.
I want to go and find a bathroom.
So,
BRB.
Rain was on something. I mean, if the person was on the property, they had to get past the guards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, either he was let in, or the guards were in on it,
or they were doing a patrol. Yeah, they might have been doing a patrol. I mean, literally going to find a bathroom. Back in a second.
So those are the options. I mean, I'm not very good at the whole talking thing, contrary to popular belief. But maybe the guards. They were supposed to be guarding him.
You said you wanted to ask people around, yes. So why don't we go ask what they were doing?
Yeah.
And who they let in then?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we hadn't missed anything.
I don't know, is there like a... Can she like just scan around, see maybe if there's like any hatches or stuff like that on the roof or on the walls that she can see?
Sure. Yeah, make an investigation check.
Hmm.
See if you can see any hidden. You spend a few minutes sort of like pulling random books off bookcases, hoping that it opens something. So like opening. There's one of those big. Like a globe map things, and you lift it up and it's got some drinks in it. God, it doesn't do anything. Didn't really find anything.
So,
hey, There's a lot of like artwork in here. If this is his study, maybe something behind him. I don't know. Court? Can you reach some of these pictures and stuff and just peek behind them? See if you notice like a safe or anything.
Court just takes the picture frames off the wall and just puts them down.
Okay, you start taking them off, and you pull one off. It looks to be an image of a cityscape. You pull it off, and behind it there is a big, solid metal safe.
Found something.
Bingo! I mean, potentially bingo. The presence of a
Figure out how to
safe.
get into it.
Does it look to be
I mean-
tampered with?
That was my next.
Yeah, I would say make an investigation check on that one just to see.
You wanna help me?
I
Ray?
will
I'll help
hold
you.
it. I'll hold the thing up so she can reach it better.
So
still
spinning
not great.
slightly. Looking
15.
over it, it looks to be really top of the line, very solid metal, very sturdy. To your eye, you know sort of like a little bit of the inside workings of things, being the artificer that you are. You don't see any unnatural signs of wear on it to give you the impression that anybody has tried to make their way into it who shouldn't have been there.
Shall we
So-
see what's inside?
Surely that's without the remit of what we're actually trying to achieve. I mean, we could, but why? If it's not been opened, if it's not been tampered with, do we really
You were
want
the one
to
that was
put
saying
extra
that we should
suspicion?
look-
Yeah, to see if anything had been stolen. But if it's shut and locked, then do we?
But if they reshut it,
Yeah. If it's empty and the guy is dead, he would have no use. There'd be no reason for him to have emptied his safe.
So
If it
why do we need to unlock it? Why can we not just go and talk to Mr. Lord Yohoshi Mark II and ask him to open it?
that's true.
The last thing we want to do is cast aspersions on our good nature. Like,
That's
Right?
true.
I'm getting a phone call. Sorry.
No worries.
That makes sense.
Unacceptable.
anyway, Court, can you put the picture back? We know it's there now.
Make
I-
an intelligence check, Court. Just to see if you put them back in the right order.
Not sleight of hand.
No, it's just to see if you can remember what order you took them down from.
Can Kisana try to help and be like, yeah, I think that one goes there and that one goes there?
Yeah, it wasn't a super high DC, so with Kisana's help, you managed to put them all back in the right place.
But are they crooked?
You spend a little time getting them straight.
Very conscious
You hear the
that we've
pictures?
been-
You better shake it, get your act together.
that we've been doing this for a while. Did you want to hand back over to the other side?
I'll wait for Nogo to come off his call. If you guys wanted to speak to anybody that was here.
I'd like
Yeah.
to speak to the groundskeepers.
Okay,
We,
so you...
while you were peeing, we also thought the guards as well. So
Definitely, but they're currently at the funeral. Am I correct?
there's two at the front.
Oh, yeah.
You were also told that groundskeepers, some of them had gone to the funeral as well.
No, I thought it was servants were at the funeral. Groundskeepers were
Yeah.
at the house.
There was you were told a couple of groundskeepers were still working on the estate. Most of the servants were at the new Lord Rihoshi's house in the meantime, while the investigation was ongoing. That's what the guards out front told you.
Can we go and find the ones that are still here, please?
Yeah, you head out. It doesn't take you super long. You find a sort of middle-aged halfling woman. She's got sort of very ruddy,
Large
cheeks,
feet.
large feet, wearing one of those sort of straw conical hats, Very simple, sort of brown tunic. She's pruning back some bushes with some succateurs as you approach her.
Guys, I'm gonna have to leave. I'm really, really sorry. My grandmother has had an accident at her
Oh.
elder home, and my
fuck.
mom is gonna come pick me up, and we're gonna go
Yeah,
with the
that's-
ambulance with her
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
hospital.
Oh, I hope
So-
you're okay.
Keep us
Hope
updated,
everything's
dude.
good.
I'm sorry,
everything's good.
but yeah, goodbye.
Alright,
No,
you-
no
Yeah.
need to apologize, man.
Alright.
No need.
Shit.
Well, I hope she's
Jesus.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always on a Thursday. Like, that guy has the
Something.
worst luck. Okay.
So yeah,
Halfling woman, yeah.
Halfling woman. She's currently at work as you approach. She's working on a bush. Doesn't seem to notice you approach immediately.
Who's good cop and who's bad cop?
I'm not so much for the talking, but I'd like to play bad cop.
Okay. Hello.
She looks up. She's got sort of like age-weathered face, very sort of red cheeks. She looks up. Hello, can I help you?
Who was working here on the 8th of Amstrad?
On the 8th, you mean the day his lordship died? I'm sorry. Who are you?
We are investigating his murder.
Oh, okay. As I told the Ravenscat when they asked, myself and most of the other groundskeepers were working, as well as the servants and some of the guards.
How many roughly were on the property?
There would have been 12 of us.
And all day?
Well, I mean, until the Ravenscat came and rescued us.
Rescued you?
I thought you were investigating.
We'll do the talking here. We've been given authorization by Lord Rahoshi, the new Lord Rahoshi, to investigate his father's murder exclusively from the Ravenscat. So,
An
Cool.
intimidation
answer
Actually,
Rain's
I want
question.
to add something.
I
That Court is
love
going
this.
to stand behind the Tink and just look mean.
with advantage because of Tink. Then, into
18.
18. She goes, yes. It was the strangest thing. Lord Rahoshi himself, the previous Lord Rahoshi, he came and spoke to us all, told us to head into the manor. Once we were all in one of the rooms upstairs, he locked the door. We were there 5-10 minutes before we heard shouting from downstairs, shouting that sounded like the Raffenscat arresting someone. And then they came and released us.
I don't know if I'm misunderstanding you or my timeline of events in my head is completely wrong.
So
It all
what she's
happened very
telling you-
quickly by the sound of it.
So what you can figure, she's saying that Lord Rihoshi came and got all of the servants and the guards,
Yeah.
told them to go upstairs. They
Yeah.
went into a room. He locked the door into them. About 5 minutes later, they heard shouting from downstairs, which you can imagine is the Ravenscat arriving and finding you guys.
Okay, so he was alive like very shortly before we got there.
I mean,
Presumably.
magic. It may not have been him. Did you notice anything unusual? Does he typically come and talk to the servants of the house and lock you in rooms?
No, that's certainly the first time. It's usually all of the business dealings and the like are through Lan. Lan Orenyo. I don't think I've spoken more than a half dozen words to his lordship. In the years I've worked here, apart from if he's commented on one of the flowers.
Is the key to that?
It was
I'm
a little
sorry.
out of character.
Is the key to that door in the door, or is it attached to the door, or is it kept on a ring?
I wouldn't know. I didn't spend a lot of time in the estate myself, just on the grounds.
What room were you taken to?
I believe it was his lordship's bedroom.
Oh, kinky. Sorry.
Surely, out of character, surely that's a strange room for them to be locked in by the genuine lord as well. But
This smells suspicious to me. What did the Ravenscat say when you told them what had happened?
They said that they believed his lordship was wanting to have some sort of secret meeting with some people that he didn't want anybody to see, and whoever it was, they seemed to think it was a group of newcomers in town who'd murdered him just from an argument or something. They seem to believe.
And this group of newcomers, they sound pretty cool. What are they?
I mean,
why
if-
was it immediately pinned on them?
and at this rate, I'll sort of put a hand on Tink's shoulder.
I don't know. I'm not Miss Marple. I just know what the Ravenscat told me.
Was
and
there
they were
any?
asking us questions?
Was there any staff on the grounds when we arrived?
The second time,
Yes.
no. You walked in through the front gate without seeing any guard. You didn't see anybody on the estates. You walked into the house, heard a noise. You found the front door unlocked. Walked in, heard a noise. Walked to the back and found the body. And then the guards came.
So, I've just thought of something. Why was there nobody on the estate at that time when those groups of newcomers walked in? Where were all the guards? The Ravenscat weren't here then.
His lordship's personal guard were in the room with us. He took
Why
all the
would-
servants, the groundskeepers, the people on the gate,
Everybody.
those doing the patrols.
Why were the
Sounds
Ravens?
particularly stupid?
Why were the Ravenscat even here?
I don't know. I don't know. They it's not something that they tell me.
Do they come here often?
I mean, I maybe seen some occasionally come, but not that often. You know, I mean, his lordship has his own private guards, so
Okay.
Well,
watch the estate.
So, sort of talking to herself, right, and be like, so, why would the Ravenscat appear precisely 5 minutes after the murder?
Lord
Is there any-
Hiroshi have some form of panic button? Like direct link to the police?
It's not something that I would know. I'm sorry. I just work in the garden.
What's your name, Miss
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda? It's a lovely name.
And yours?
I am Siri.
Is there anyone else?
Beautiful name as well.
This is my band of fellow investigators and the hired muscle. So, don't
He is a
leave the
lot of
estate.
muscle, yes.
Corpus Brown.
Hmm.
Is
She
there
sort
anyone?
of, her eyes linger as they follow the form of court.
Is there anyone else working today?
There's a couple of us. We're just getting the grounds in order for when the new Lord Rihoshi returns to.
I
Check
wonder
the
how
home.
things are going on at his funeral.
In fact, as will blah 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 blah. I'm having a
Choke.
coughing fit.
Is the
Oh
blah
God,
the
stop
new
dying.
Brom start.
Somebody mentioned
He
Bron.
choked on the bull.
It's probably the coronas
No.
mentioned earlier.
I've updated group notes. If
Cool.
people are interested.
So yeah, we all blah, 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 over to the funeral.
Yeah, we're all talking to this like Krusty the Clown looking motherfucker with a large set of feet and purple clown clothes.
He's got a dagger at his
Yeah.
side.
And we're just like, oh yeah, so we were thinking about going for a drink later. Do you want to come? And we have no idea.
And the funny thing, he has a very fancy dagger, but he has 2 sheaths, but one of them is empty for some reason.
Yeah, but we don't really care about that because he's such a nice guy.
Over the next half an hour, you see a variety of people begin to make their way into the area, sort of filling up the space around the mausoleum. You can see amongst them is a couple of members of the Ravensgat themselves. One of them you recognise as Captain Alvindra, dressed up in sort of like their sort of their formal wear, more so than the gear that you saw before. Also with a quite tall human woman. You see she's got dark skin, high cheekbones, her hair is pulled back into a tail. She's wearing a long black cloak with feathers on it and red tinges across all of the feathers. And both of them look at the group of you with surprise to see you there. And then just sort of start having a little conversation, hushed tones between themselves. You see a few more nobles of the area start to arrive. You see eventually the new Lord Rihoshi himself steps into the area with a couple of his guard flanking him. He catches eyes with all of you and sort of gives you a nod.
Luan's
after a
not
moment-
moving as to keep his black cloak visuals.
You see after a few moments, you can see a procession making their way from within the temple itself. A few members of Lord Rihoshi's guard themselves are carrying a heavy coffin along the way and making the way through. You can see at the sort of leading them at the head is a broad-shouldered dwarf. You can see he's got a bald on the top, but hair on the sides. Big, long beard, sort of all knotted up and bound with a clasp. He's wearing a long, sort of white robe with a stole around his neck that's got gold and silver relief along it. None of his clan markings are visible. He's seemingly covered them all with his sort of priestly vestments. They slowly make the procession, and the sounds of silence descend along this small funeral party. Is there anything anybody would like to do at this moment?
Look out for those inconspicuous people.
Yeah.
Okay.
David said
I'll say the pair of you make perception checks then.
Vision checks. Oh man, it'd be really good if Noga's character helped me. No, like Noga's character can help David, right? Because David's better.
Sure.
Sure. So. Haha.
Okay. So, within the within the group of nobles that you can see, there's not many of them. You see the ones that sort of most stick out to you. You can see Alvindra and the dark-skinned woman sort of standing off to one side. You can see to get my shit in order. You see Lord Rihoshi, the new Lord Rihoshi, is there with his guard. Lan, Orinu, sort of standing like just a little bit behind and to the side of him. You can see what appears to be a pair of elves, very richly dressed. There is one is female. She's got sort of like coppery skin, black hair is sort of tied up into like this delicate sort of display on the top and worked in with sort of gold banding. She's wearing very sort of black, dark clothes. To her side is what looks to be a slightly younger elfin gentleman, similar sort of facial features. He's got long brown hair, a little bit of a beard come in, also wearing funeral clothing. You see there's another individual who's not quite looking noble. He looks like he's possibly an aide of some kind as well. Human gentleman, you can see he's got very, very dark tan skin. Black hair is tied up at the top and very high faded on the side, wearing sort of very simple black clothing with sort of white trim. You see a female, a woman, step across and place sort of like a very comforting hand onto Lord Rihoshi's shoulder. You can see she's wearing this red dress. She's very figure hugging, has very sort of low neckline, bit of a slit down on the side, her long black satiny like hair, and she's sort of like tied with a single braid at the back, and she's sort of like this very smile on her face as she's saying something to the new Lord Rihoshi, and he nods and thanks her for whatever it was that she'd said. She sort of stays by his side for a moment.
She seems like someone I'd like to get to know, though she doesn't seem particularly appropriately dressed for a funeral.
I'm gonna be honest. Nogo just wrote to me when you were describing all of that. So whoever the group thinks is inconspicuous, I will make an insight check on throughout the entire thing.
Okay. Sure. Who?
The woman.
The woman.
The woman.
Make an insight check.
The vegetated wham.
The vegetated wham.
Oh wow, 24.
Let's go. Oh yeah, fuck. Sorry. Because of her dementia, she apparently was freaking out a little bit, and when the nurses tried to calm her down, like at the home, she fell down and hurt her hip, and that's why she's on the way to the hospital, because she couldn't stand back up.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's good to know. Well, it's not good to know,
but it's relieving to know that
at
it's
least
not
she's
something, worse.
Yeah, at least she's alive, I suppose.
Watching through the funeral and through the funeral does sort of progress. The dwarfen gentleman who does sort of as he speaks. He's got a very sort of solid and comforting voice, very deep and warm. He introduces him to those assembled as Warden Stone Guard of the Temple of Pelor. You get the impression that the Warden part is the official title of the head priest of Pelor at this temple. He's giving a very moving sermon about how the light of Lord Rihoshi will be raised up to Pelor in the light to give warmth to his son and any future generations, to his business, to his people, to his lands. It's very warm, speech. You're keeping an eye on this woman, Ray Ralph, and she is very aggressively hitting on the new Lord Rihoshi.
Hitting on him?
Yeah, just, like being flirtatious.
Do you point this out?
How what?
Do you point this out?
From her?
Yeah,
From
I suppose.
the way that she's very up close next to him. She's sort of like making whispered comments.
How does he look in response to these whispered comments?
I'd say make an insight check for you.
Stop making me roll wisdom.
Well, if you want to ask these questions, you have to make the roll.
Oh, it's
Nice.
fucking
Don't forget to read out your rolls.
20. Sorry, yeah.
That's cool. He, looking at him, he's very conflicted towards it. Some part of him you can see is appreciative of it. Some of it is suspicious of it. Some of it he is grieving his father, and he's sort of like only partially listening to what she's saying.
Right. Okay.
So he's just a jumble of emotions to it.
And we're within 30 feet of it, right?
I don't know. I mean, are you sort of?
I'm gonna make
making
myself
this-
within 30 feet of it. Very
Yeah, you
casually.
can move closer.
I'm just gonna telepathically connect with this fine lady.
Of course you are.
And I'm just gonna say, isn't that a bit inappropriate, dear? You seem to be diving a little bit deeper than you should be at the moment. And she can respond to this.
You see her sort of her body stiffen a little in surprise, and she looks around in
I
confusion.
wave as soon
And
as she
her
crosses
eyes
over
lock
to
with
me.
yours, and she
Hello, dear.
gives you a smile. It's almost like a smirk, and then she just turns around and ignores you.
No,
the life of David.
no, I would. I would expect it from Skittles, not from you. I'm gonna go. But you seem to be ignoring me. You see, I can continuously badger you until you leave him alone. And if you don't... I don't know. I'm not going to threaten you. That's fine. You're just being a dick. You're just being a dick.
A softly feminine voice in your head.
Softly.
Comes
Piss
and
off!
I suggest you stay out of matters that don't involve you. I know what you are. I trust none of the others know what you are. It's not safe for your kind here.
Spooky. Okay. And I say, I will respond back with, yes. But I can see what you're doing. And I'm not a smooth talker, this is weird.
Are you not smoother in your head than comes out of your mouth?
No! Never! Never! Alright, no! I'm gonna say... I know what you're doing. It doesn't matter what I look like. You couldn't scratch me if you tried.
No response.
That's fine. And then he'll say, you don't happen to know about his good old father, do you?
Let me have a look at something real fast.
Oh, too slow.
No response.
No response. So,
She's just...
so you're deciding to stay quiet, are you? Interesting. Well, I hope you have your back watched. That I'm gonna disconnect. Well, actually, it lasts equal to my sorcerer level. It doesn't say that I'm allowed to break the connection, so afterwards I'm just gonna go do 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 do. You're a fucking slut.
Like,
playing with the sad man's heartstrings. You can suck a dick. like that's just little Ant for the next what, like 2 minutes, minute and a half. He's just like, you're a cunt. I love this character.
Oh dear.
He's a monster.
Is anybody else doing anything? While
Can I relay that also? Oh, she
offending people.
this
Can
one
I-
Again.
knows what's going on.
Can I shift my attention to, I don't remember his name, the guy holding the speech, and see if he's truthful in his words? Like if he's spewing bullshit about how great a man he was, or if he actually means it.
The Warden Stoneguard. Sure, I guess if you want to make an insight check on him as well, yeah.
20.
20. You've been to funerals before. You know that priests have a rote. They have a thing that they say at funerals. This seems like he is he's
Doing his job, kind of
yeah,
thing.
he's doing his job. You know, he doesn't seem to be saying anything he doesn't believe.
Okay.
So
Long shot, I suppose.
no worries. Eventually, the sermon is concluded. The coffin is picked up once more and moved into the mausoleum. The doors are closed. You can see Lord Rihoshi sort of steps forward, shakes, so gives sort of like a bow to Warden Stoneguard. They exchange a few words. The dwarf sort of like puts a hand on his shoulder, comfortingly, and the crowd sort of slowly starts to disperse, leaving yourselves, Lord Rihoshi and Lana Renyu stay behind.
Does the lady
But
stay
before
behind?
we continue on with that, I think we'll take a break there.
Okay.
Anyway, so returning to the departing crowd of mourners, the Lord Rihoshi and Lana Renyu have stayed behind as the others, some seemingly servants, some nobles. You hear Warden Stoneguard as he's leaving, muttering something about having to comfort a screaming groundsperson who seemed to have heard some sort of spirit earlier in the graveyard. He thinks that the grave digger has been sipping on the old,
Has the lady gone? Has she?
She has, yes.
Can we have made note of which direction, if anywhere, conspicuous as to where she may have gone?
Yes, out of the graveyard. You're a little way in, so unless you want to follow her, you're not going to be able to.
Before doing so, I'm going to confer with my team. Follow or no follow?
I'm not there.
Sorry, what?
Should we follow the crazy woman or should we not follow the crazy woman? And by crazy, I mean skank. And by skank, I mean she is, because she was flirting with someone who just lost her dad. So
Yeah, that's
suitable.
pretty fucked up.
Fucked up.
I mean, on one side, she could just be an asshole taking advantage of a mourning, I'd presume, wealthy man. You know, trying to comfort him to win his side so they can, like, she can steal his money or something. Or she wants him dead too. So we should probably, maybe, I don't know.
Do we want to have... Oh, May's not going to want us to split like that.
You are correct.
What do you think?
I'm quite stealthy, but I don't know about the rest of you.
I mean, it's just you, me, and Ace. No, sorry, you, me, and No-Go at the moment, right?
True.
So it's...
I don't know how stealthy NT is.
I'm not. What's the range of this telepathic speech?
30 feet.
You have to be within 30 feet.
You're not gonna speak to her,
But we
churning
can,
her, are you?
we can talk as long as we're within 2 miles of it. Number of miles equals my charisma modifier, which is 4. So as long as I can I connect to her just as she's leaving, retroactively?
Yeah, if you want to reconnect as they're making their way out.
Great. I'm gonna call out to her in her head, and I'm just gonna say,
In your head.
I do apologise for disturbing you once more, but I would love to have a little chin wag. You know, as friends.
You have been rather insulting. I don't think so.
You see, I didn't ask.
Just gonna fucking. Oh god.
It's
Mind
strange,
fucker.
you know, there's a certain thing as consent.
Oh.
Interfering in someone's mind without their permission is not polite.
And what dirty word shall we describe that preys upon the morning?
You mean comforting a dear friend?
You know, we all know that's not what that was.
You just hear the soft tinkle of laughter in your head.
I'm gonna roll an intimidation check, hopefully, and just be like, well, it's your last chance. Can I intimidate? Can I try and spook her?
Sure.
Ka-chow!
You're gonna
Fuck!
Yeah, she laughs again.
I don't actually want to do anything.
I suggest strongly you should keep your nose out of matters that don't concern you.
I wonder what colour she's wearing.
She's wearing red.
Yeah, she's wearing. She's trying.
She hasn't got giant feet.
Yeah,
No,
she's wearing.
She doesn't
red.
have giant feet. I mean, when I said feet larger, because Rain is quite a slender figure, and Tink obviously is.
Yeah.
Not they have big clown feet. It's definitely something
Yes.
slightly larger than.
So we're not looking for Bigfoot.
No.
The big purple Bigfoot.
I think Luard
But
just doesn't like this person. That's it. I think that's just the be all and end all. Is Luard just doesn't like this person. I think she's probably innocent. She's just a scumbag.
You see, Lord Rihoshi is sort of like standing, looking at the mausoleum, his hands behind his back.
He's got a knife. No.
He's definitely wearing more sort of ornamental and ornate attire than he was when he saw you the night before. Definitely funeral attire. He still has his sort of like his sword at his side. Lan is sort of there. He looks over to you all and sort of.
Can we approach? Go on. Sorry, you want to say something? I talk a lot.
No, I was just gonna suggest that maybe he has, a lead. He has been talking to the Ravensguard? I don't even know. Ravenscat.
Yeah, the three of you approach, and Lord Ryohoshi sort of looks over. I thank you for attending. Where are the rest of your fellows? Sort of looks around.
Currently working on, finding out who actually did this.
That is good to know, that my trust in you does not seem to have been misplaced.
And in all due respect, we're not here simply to pay respects. We're here to also do the job.
That is good to know as well.
That friend you were just speaking to, throughout the entire thing, or the one that at least spoke to you, they someone you know? Someone you trust?
Yudoku? I wouldn't say that. How much do you know of this town?
Well, first of all, I'd like to know how to spell that wonderful name.
H-I-D
H-I-D-I-K-O. Unfortunately, not that much. As is infamous already, is we're new travellers, so I don't know if it's common for women to try and seek the pleasures of those who have just lost greatly.
Well, perhaps a little background might be in order. You see, here in this town, as you're aware, the main trade is the lumber that we take from the Nico forest. It is abundant, it is of good quality. There are three major logging corporations. Mine, I should say. You saw, get the names right. You saw the Uthrunus family, Valan and her son, Hadral. They have been competitors of my father's for many years. And then there is Longstrider. Hidoku, she arrived in this town 6 months ago, set up Longstrider logging. There was a fourth. She put them out of business quite quickly. She undercut them with suppliers, overpaid the workers, breaking a agreement that the three major corporations had when it came to wages, forced my father to increase the wages of his own lumberjacks to keep them. She is an ambitious businesswoman, and she is a terrible flirt.
Yeah. So she does that all the time, or?
This is the first she has to me, though I have not been in her presence much. It is wasted.
Why so? Are you taken?
Okay.
You could say that.
Could I? we're trying to figure out why someone were to kill you. So kill your father. So any information helps.
He seems very reluctant to be discussing this.
Doesn't want to know about sugar mommy.
I think he may have a secret lover, perhaps, but that's fine. Or he gay, or he bi, or anything in between.
I mean, considering the wasted line, I mean, it's not.
Do you have any reason to believe that she's had dealings with your father before? Of course, there have been the communications between the loggers, as you mentioned, and the deals between the three biggest, and then the undercutting. But do you think she's had direct meetings with your father at any point?
You have to understand. I was not prepared to take the role that I now find myself in for many years to come. In fact, a few of my friends had been working on setting up a shipping business in Freeport with our own funds. Obviously, that is now a fever dream for me that I must run the company my father did. I have people now that look after me, that require me to look after them.
So
his business dealings with her, if he had any, personal or business. He looks over at Lan. Lan, would you know? And says, not really, my lord. The few times that he spoke of her, she was not his favorite person in the town.
And your business idea that you wish to have out of town, did you mention this to anyone in passing? By any chance, did you happen to mention it to a potential competitor who may want you to not have the time to do such a...
Well, myself and my friends, we would discuss it often in the Hanabira Ryokan. It's the bar in Rose Blossom where we would drink and weave our future tales between ourselves.
Okay, so please, do you have the names of these friends? I'm not saying that they are, but perhaps you have some double-crossing friends who may want to do the business that you wish to, but didn't want your hand involved.
I'm not certain that they would have... I mean, I can give you the names of some of those who would become my partners. There would be Eliane and Duran.
Is that Duran?
J.
Duran, okay.
Duran.
I love that film.
Okay. Do you have any other ideas for questions, Ray?
Just if he has any leads in general.
I feel like May's not going to give us that one.
I mean,
you guys are fucked. You've got the two people who don't do puzzles. I don't think.
I imagine that NT probably asks something about if he knows anything that the Ravenscat have asked him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is there any other leads you have, Mally? I look at the leader of the Ravenscat and I was like, is there any other new leads that you have found? Because we are certainly not the perpetrators. So
Oh, they've gone.
they've gone. Lady,
Yeah,
come back here. No, it's fine.
Everybody but like Lord Uhoshi and Lan left.
Right. Remind me who Lan is? I thought that was the...
Lan Arenya was the aide to...
Right. Do you, in any means, have any belief that the Ravensgat might have anything to do with this?
I can't imagine why they would. It would they would have nothing to gain from it. In fact, they would have nothing to gain from my father's death. In fact, the only person, in all honesty, who would have anything to gain from my father's death would be me.
Did you kill your father?
Do you think anyone would have any value in your death now?
My new competitors, possibly. The confusion caused by
New leadership.
New leadership, by me suddenly being removed, would give them all opportunities to gobble up what remained. I can't believe either of them would stoop to such levels. I mean, Orthranis has been here for years, working with my father as an opponent. But they were friends is perhaps too strong a term, but they each worked against each other, but not too aggressively, if that makes sense.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'm stumped. So if you'd like to move to the other party, we can maybe plot some more questions. I don't know.
Okay. He does say, if you do have any other questions, I'll be at my state, but I would like some moments to any sort of gestures towards the mausoleum.
Of course.
It allows you to sort of slowly.
I apologise
Make
for
your
disturbing you in your time of peace.
And you can sort of start to head back towards the centre of town. In the meantime, Team Estate. Woo! You guys up to anything? Or do you want to sort of all reconvene at the tavern and...
I would like to just do one thing before we disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go and just spend a few moments looking in the room that they were locked in, the bedroom.
Okay. Yeah. You make your way up. It takes you a few moments looking in the doors to find which one it is. You can see that it is quite a large room with a king-sized four-poster bed. It's got a large wardrobe up against the wall. There's quite a comfortable sort of like reading chair to one side. There's a small writing desk just sort of pushed underneath the window.
Is there a key in the door?
As you step in, there isn't.
Like on the outside?
There is a keyhole, but no key in the door.
So I think. Oh no, that's Rain's voice.
So I think we should do the same in this room as we did in that one. It seems really odd that they were locked in here so they wouldn't see anyone. There is hundreds of other rooms in this house. Hundreds, I'm exaggerating slightly, but there's a whole other floor. Why would he put them in here?
Maybe he was planning something?
Hmm.
So
Alright.
location-wise, where is this room? Is it on the same floor?
No,
it-
it's the floor above the study.
It is upstairs.
And it is sort of to the right hand wing, as it were, towards the front face, and the study is sort of like diagonally other side at the bottom, on the bottom floor, sort of to the left at the back.
I mean, this room
It's essentially
seems
the
awfully...
furthest room.
But it's above the study.
It's the floor above, but it's at the front and to the right, and the study is at the bottom, at the back, and on the left.
Okay. So it's the furthest possible room away from where he was.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, so
Seems like poor architectural planning.
It seems, you know,
I'm not
if they were in this
architectural.
room, it's miles away from the study where he was perhaps having this meeting, so that, you know, Esmeralda was saying it's perhaps so they didn't hear something or see something. So that, to me, would check out. But should we do kind of the top-to-toe sweep with some investigation and maybe some, you know...
I think you should go ahead and investigate, and I will help you.
I'll
Okay.
do the lower bits, you do the middle bits, guys, you do the top bits.
Yeah, go ahead and make your
Sounds good.
investigation check for me, then, please.
25.
Wow, natural 20 as well. Be more
Thanks.
excited.
Natural
Right, natural 20.
20 on a
Woohoo!
room that probably doesn't matter.
Looking through, you see there's sort of like a small bedside cabinet. Looks to be a book on the side. Glance at it, it looks to be sort of like a history of the Rihoshi family. Looks like he's just he was reading it at night. Looking through the wardrobe, some very nice clothes hanging in here. There's a door in the side so that you can sort of push open, and there's a bathroom, sort of ensuite, a bath area, and there you sort of poke around, find his toothbrush and all that stuff. Nothing really else. There's like paintings on the wall. There's a few nice sort of like art objects, stuff like that. Again, nothing seems to have been moved or removed, as best you can tell.
So-
the bed is made.
Hey, Court, I think you'd look really nice in some of this fancy clothing. So we could use some of that at some point. Get those muscles on show.
Peeks at the bro. This looks hard to move. Like flexes his muscle bro. Need freedom.
Yeah, but, you know, there are going to be opportunities to... yeah, okay. Anyway.
Court just looks like he doesn't process what's going on.
I get that a lot. Okay, so, you know, so you found this, you spent some time in the bathroom, there's a book. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this book. I'm gonna tell Lord Rihoshi I've taken this book,
Okay.
but I'm gonna borrow this.
Add
I'm
to
gonna
your
put that
inventory the life and times of House Rihoshi.
I'm just imagining you just go up to him and say, I'm taking this book, and but secretly I'm only borrowing it.
I'll bring it back.
Um,
Okay, so can anyone think of anything else? I'm getting kind of tired.
my main thoughts are that if someone was to have a key to this room, assuming it's the genuine Lord himself, as there isn't one kept in the door.
So, what might be useful is if we share the knowledge we have with Lord Rahoshi. Maybe he can shed some light on who he was meeting. I know he said he didn't. No, I don't, because I wasn't there. Maybe the fact that he has some known business associates, or, that he wouldn't want to have held. We also haven't talked to the personal guard, but they're not here right now.
Maybe we should meet the other guys back at the tavern
Yeah.
and can reconvene.
Sounds good.
Okay. You guys head back to the Laughing Lumberjack. Returning after a few minutes, the other three arrive. You find
Convenient
yourself a
timing.
table off to one side.
So ours was a bust.
Tell us all about it. Oh, really? All of that happened? Great.
Yeah.
Here's what we learned.
Oh, really? All of that?
Yeah.
Man!
Talk really quickly.
Good job. I knew you were the right person to go in that place.
You
Turns
guys
out
speak
a lot
very
of stuff,
fast.
A lot
Can't
of
keep
stuff happens at knee level.
Oh, man. Okay, what now?
You
though?
liked meeting the halfling. You were taller than her.
I did. That's why she turned into that sort of power bitch. To be honest.
Oh, man.
I mean,
So yeah.
what did Rahoshi... So, you got the information from Rahoshi. This information we got from the house. It sounds to me like it could have just been a pissed off competitor. Maybe wasn't yielding to their demands, or...
That's what I thought.
This was definitely planned.
Maybe
They,
it was that woman.
I'm a bit suspicious of the fact that what the police called again?
The Ravensguard.
Ravensguard. Turned up so quickly after the murder.
I agree.
I also find
But
it awfully suspicious that the kill was so clean. Not just that it happened, but that it was so, expertly handled.
One and done.
It doesn't feel like some random lumber worker's done the kill.
Dude,
Someone with money
Yeah,
has paid for a
and that
professional.
knife, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you happen to see anybody in purple?
Did we?
We didn't look out for anything in purple.
For the most part, people were wearing various shades of black. The only people really outside of that would have been the warden, Stone Guard, wose priest vestments are sort of white with gold and silver,
So not
and
the red dressed lady.
and yeah.
So we don't know.
Hidoko Longstrider.
We're not necessarily,
Yes.
investigators, but we have this information. Now, what would we do with it? You tell the person you were working for to see if they could put some of the pieces together, or we could talk to the personal guard. We could talk to some of the servants that are there.
I think we should hold up on telling him anything until we have more concrete evidence.
You suspect him?
It's not that I suspect him, more that I don't know who he keeps in his circles. Maybe one of his friends benefits of him becoming the Lord.
I think also, yeah, I agree with you. If we show our hand to Ailey, we might be unfortunately giving away our moves before we've even discovered our true opponent.
But Lord
Court puts his hands
Rahoshi's
in
on
his
our
pockets.
side. You think the only reason to not tell Lord Rahoshi is if you think that...
Oh, I trust Lord Rahoshi, but I don't trust the people that Lord Rahoshi trusts.
Lord Rahoshi trusts you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust myself. That has been way too clear too quickly.
Okay. So, I mean, what do you want to do now?
Drinking game?
Back to the bar?
Back to the bar.
It's like 11 o'clock
Back to
in
the bar?
afternoon.
In the afternoon. It's only been like 3 hours.
In the morning. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock somewhere. Glug, 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 glug.
You went to the funeral.
We've done the funeral. We've
What
done the
if
house.
do we
a
want
couple of
to?
hours.
Do we want to question the guards who were told to protect these workers in the house? We could
But
query.
They're at Lord Rahoshi's manor.
So we go. Let's go to Lord Rihoshi's manor. Let's.
That's what I was saying.
Well, you're right. See, you're 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, I'm usually 2 steps behind, so this makes a nice change.
Oh man. All right then.
That's the next logical
Is there
step.
anywhere else that anyone else who is saying nothing wants to do?
Yeah.
I have no idea what the fuck's happening.
Same.
We're investigating a murder.
Entry
I mean-
would say, we wanted to know why the guards showed up so quickly, as he mentions as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Court is just going
Give
with
you
the
like
flow
the
of this.
full options of things that you can.
That is, yeah, that's a good one too.
Or see if we can follow the tracks. I don't know. I'm just.
Did we see tracks from the window though?
You guys did.
Yes, we did.
Found some tracks.
Tink and Rain.
Really big ones.
I feel like the
to
tracks
the-
we should do.
Almost
last.
human-sized.
Shall
So
we should do
I
the
sort
tracks last?
I sort of misspoke earlier when I said about being framed, but I'm kind of thinking that we were framed based on the fact that the guards turned up so quickly.
Yeah.
That would be my immediate thought.
But then why would they want to frame us? Is it...
Or maybe they'd just been called and they were already on their way, as if they were supposed to find him and we just got in the way.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like
Could
they
have
did,
just been a coincidence.
like they,
But-
they didn't want to frame us. They wanted to frame someone.
I don't
Or,
think that,
like,
that mobile phones existed in this day and age because.
But
there was 10 minutes between Ryoshi being
But
alive.
mind magic does.
yeah,
Well, yes, but I mean, there's 10 minutes between Ryoshi being alive and us being caught by the police. For that sort of word to spread that quickly.
I mean, I'd like to believe, on first glance, that it was an accident and that no one was really trying to blame us.
We need to speak to
You know,
Ravensgate and
innocent-
find out why they came.
But are the Ravensgate gonna be forthcoming? Like, if we talk to them as us, considering, as far as they're concerned, we're only out on the behest of Lord Rahoshi.
Well, I mean,
We
maybe
could go and talk to the commander that is giving pressure to the Ravensgate, or at least the associates of, find out a bit more about that story. People that are pressured make mistakes. To close cases, to overlook things. You start throwing your weight around, you end up making mistakes or forcibly made mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, as soon as we find out why the guards were there in the first place, if there was a report of a murder or a body or whatever, then the staff can sort of can free us of that.
Also, who reported to the guards?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Huh.
Who told them it was there? Because I went looking. I remember specifically saying, I'm going to go to guards, and they were already behind us.
Actually, that's another thing
Who
that's
got
fucked
there
up as well.
first?
Because they must have known that there was a body or at least something bad, because presumably normal etiquette surrounding a lord would be that they knock and wait to be invited in.
Also, they arrested me before discovering the body.
That may be
I
a
wonder if that was
continuity error.
intentional or just DM plot. I mean, these are all definitely things we need to investigate. There's no. We just need to pick one and go and do it.
I vote the footprints. I think we should follow the footprints. I don't think going and questioning people will get us any more.
I think we've done a lot of charisma-based stuff. Let's do some survival-based.
I would agree. I think that we've done enough questioning. We now have our suspicions. We should go and do the thing, Julie.
Just do it.
Okay.
Decision made.
Cool. So decision made. You collect your equipment where you put it on the ground next to you. Step out into the now noonday sun after you've taken an hour or so to swap tales and discussions, and you're heading back to the estate.
Yes.
Yep. As you sort of step up towards the gate, you can see the couple of the private guards are there. You recognise the three of you that came earlier. Sorry, the four of you that came earlier. And stand aside and sort of open the gate. You make your way. Are you making your way back into the building, or are you going around the back, or are you
Round the back. Well, that's where I'd
we
lead
don't
them.
need to go to the building, right? Yeah, we just go through the back.
Okay, so you go up around to the back to where you saw the still open window from before. Sort of showing around Ray Ralph as the tracker. You sort of, once people have pointed it out, you sort of pick up the tracks. It seems like depression of somebody mantling out and landing 2 feet down, rushing forward to the fence. So, with sort of Rain and Tink showing you where they'd seen the tracks earlier, it's easy enough for you to pick those out as well. But it leads up to the gate, the fence, and then you can see the other side is just like open ground, and then maybe about just sort of off in the distance you can see there is like more sort of housing.
Can somebody with excellent tracking skills see if they can find more tracks?
Sure, I'll look for
So
more
there's a thing I've been
tracks,
doing.
try and follow the tracks that we already found.
So
And Court will help.
you climbing over the fence, or are you gonna walk out and walk around?
Gonna climb over the fence.
Okay, climb over. With no real sort of like expediency required, you can clamber over. You catch like the cuff of your trousers on one of the metal, and it gives a little tear, but you leap over and land. Make a survival check for me.
20.
20, nice. Pretty much like as you've landed, you sort of look off to your left and you can see imprints of someone landing previously next to where you were. Looking around, you can see through the sort of like the rough dirt and grass. You can make out the signs of unmistakable signs of movement of somebody seemingly moving at speed, the long strides of somebody moving quickly, sort of southwards.
Okay. Being entranced by the tracks, I'm gonna follow them without saying anything.
What's everybody else doing? As
Following
you see,
with following.
Yeah.
What? Did you see something?
Are you climbing over? It's
Yep.
gonna take a little while.
Can I like
for
run
to
around?
make
I ain't climbing.
Yeah.
And so since we have short people, how tall is the fence again?
It's about 10 feet.
Can we just kind of yeet them over, or at least give them a boost up?
I mean, yeah,
They've also
it's
got to
just
drop
See,
back
it
down on
saves
the
us
other side.
time.
Tink would have to drop down the other side as well. But I mean, yeah, if you want to make an athletics check to yeet the gnome.
20.
Wow, what is with you guys? You sort of you put your back against the fence, make the little tent with your hands, duck down. Tink puts her foot onto it, and you launch up. And Tink, you find yourself. You sort of grab onto the top, manage to pull yourself over. Make an acrobatics check for jumping over the other side.
11. And you're
11.
muted.
You
Right, you're
land
muted.
and you feel your ankle sort of give way, and you do take it would be only 2 points of bludgeoning damage from falling.
I love the way Tink doesn't get to consent to being yeeted.
Right? It was an offer. It wasn't a you have to do it. You're muted.
You're muted.
You're
Sorry,
muted.
I didn't hear.
How many
it.
points of damage? Sorry.
So 2.
I
Yeah,
do
go for
believe
it.
I saw him mouth. It's okay.
Oh,
He was muted. I'm not sure.
cool. Anybody who wants to run around, by the time everybody has climbed over, you reach them.
Was there a gap in the fence that I could have just squeezed through?
The bars are only like that big. If you'd wanted to run,
Could I have just walked round the fence?
You could have just walked.
That's what I did. That's why I
gave
specifically.
an option. I gave an option. It wasn't like I'm going to do it.
No,
It was,
no.
I'm gonna
You
give him an
yeeted me.
option.
You picked me up and you threw me.
Yeah. was all by force.
You all eventually reconvene on the other side. You see Ray Ralph is about 50 or so feet ahead, sort of hunkered down, moving in a crouch as he's following seemingly something, moving towards the houses that you can see a little bit off the distance. You guys sort of scurry up to follow him. What did you get before? It was a 20, wasn't it, for your survival?
Yes.
As you sort of eventually you can see some of the houses around this side are, while not as fancy as those in the sort of Rose Blossom Square, the more elite area, these are definitely sort of like a little more middle class, not quite as ramshackle as some of the places you've seen in town. The grass and dirt sort of slowly turns to pathway. You can still every now and again manage to keep a track, and then you see them stop at what appears to be a metal manhole cover in the ground.
Huh.
And then the track's end.
Stops here by the manhole. Kick.
So maybe they went in?
Maybe.
Presumably.
Well, who's going first?
Not me. I'm protecting the rear.
You're muted, gamer.
I'll go.
Okay, marching order for people then.
Really, I'm at the motherfucking front.
So are we
Just
using this
where
little
you
bar
want
thing
your
again?
gnome to be.
Tink's at the front. No, get back here. Tink, Court, Ray, Kitsana, NT, Rain, and Luard. Is that
Yeah, I think so.
okay? I'd say between Court and Kitsana, it's easy enough for you. If anybody has like a crowbar, you can lever up the cover.
I have my staff. Don't know if that can hold it.
You probably need something a little more sturdy.
Okay.
But if somebody just wants to like use like the handle of a sword or something, can
Don't
use
you
that if
get
don't have
a
that.
crowbar in one of the traveling pack?
I think the
I've got one.
dungeon.
I've got one. I've got a crowbar.
Yeah, you can easily between you with the crowbar lever it up. You can see the sort of chimney leading down into darkness below. There's a sort of slightly rusted ladder that heads down.
Hey,
Do we
Cart,
have any light magic so we can see? I know we have
I
dark
have
vision.
fire.
Um,
Got anything wood?
I do have a plain torch, but
And just sort of
Gimme.
I'll
and
give you a
just
torch. I guess.
flick of the wrist, and the device comes up, and I just the tiniest, most controlled little fireball just to light the end.
Okay, so set it to light. And Tink, you're going down first with this.
9 torches.
Cart, can I ride you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tink is yodering on court. Okay,
Just,
so you
just sitting on
you
its
head on
shoulders.
down. The
I'll
first
hold the
thing
torch.
you do notice that outside of the flame of the torch, the place is black as night. Looking around as the flame sort of flickers and casts long shadows, you can see stone walls, stone floor. As soon as you get down there, you hear and see movement as like rats just fucking flee the light that you brought down with you. You can see there is a long sort of pathway about 5 feet wide, which seems to sort of run left to right. Then there is almost like a river, and then another 5-foot pathway on the other side. As you're glancing around, you can see that there are sort of like wooden bridges that crisscross this river. This place fucking reeks of waste and decay. You sort of make your way down there, Court and Tink together.
Any chance there'd be tracks on the ground, or is that completely out of the question?
You can make, if you've headed down as well, you can make a survival check.
Sure.
I thought we were all heading down.
Yeah.
yes.
I
Yes.
don't want to assume.
Yes, we don't split the
Yeah.
party here, May. Obviously.
You'll clamp down with the light
Hate
that Tink
this.
is holding. You won't have disadvantage, so make a survival.
This place
17.
is disgusting.
17. You are. You've learned to pick out this tread well enough that you recognize a singular imprint that heads off to the left-hand direction from you guys.
Okay. Gonna do the same thing and follow it.
Okay. You guys slowly make your way along. Does anybody want to do anything? Are you guys moving normally? Are you hurrying, or do you want to go carefully?
I'm moaning about
Shit.
the filth.
I'm on court. Remember what happened last time?
Okay. So,
Stealthily, I suppose.
well, anybody who isn't Luard, who is moaning, can make a stealth check. Luard makes no stealth check because he is moaning.
That sounds about right.
Oh,
What?
I got a 7. Yeah.
I got
Got a
23.
Wait, why do we have this? Oh, right, heavy armor.
I have mail on, so I get
Okay.
disadvantage.
Cling, clang, cling, clang.
Yeah, it's more like a rattle kind of thing.
Right.
She
It's a
only
rattle
looks like
thing.
she's wearing cloth armor.
The clang 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 does echo through this place, bouncing off the walls, seemingly coming along as you it's coming from all sort of directions, but you're aware in part that it is from Kitsana, and Court's heavy tread. He's a little slipping on some of the stuff you don't want to think too much about what it might be.
So I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's like male, wouldn't it be like more of a rattling sound like chains? And if
Sure.
so-
Yes, it would be a rattling sound.
And if so, paired with Luard's moaning and Quartz's heavy footsteps would sound kind of like something eerie is coming down the hallway.
It is quite freaky. Ray, you're sort of like keeping a little up the front, sort of like in the light of the fire, as you are following, as it's sort of like it's heading relatively, as best you can tell, to the east. It's crossing over on some of these wooden bridges over. You follow it as it's sort of making lefts and rights. After about 5 or so minutes making your way along, Tink, Court, and Ray at the front, sort of at the outside of the flickering candle, you can see in the sort of darkened tunnels, shadows of this sewer tunnel, you can see a shape. It looks like a hunched over figure. Just sort of like the light flickers. You sort of as you move a little bit closer to it, you can see what looks to be a very sickly, thin, humanoid-like creature. It looks like it's clad in tatters of clothing. You can see in the light that it's got like sallow grey skin and a hairless head. You can see it's got long limbs that end in wickedly long, sharp claws. And as it turns to look at you, you can see it's got a mouth of razor-sharp teeth and a flicking prehensile tongue, which you can see is thick with blood. The eyes of the creature sort of like glow with a burning green before it lets out a ravenous howl and begins to charge. And that's what we'll pick up next time.